Hi, it is almost Christmas. In fact, I'm recording this video on Christmas Eve. I have a little bit of an interesting Christmas this year because I am spending it alone. Yikes, I know that sounds super sad, but you know, I am not actually bothered by it. And I feel like if you're somebody who's maybe in a similar situation, going through difficult family things where maybe that is creating some feelings of loneliness or exclusion, and you know, social media is going to be full of everybody with photos of their families, of their kids, of their friends and everything. And I just personally am going through a big transitional phase in my life right now where I am getting out of something, starting a new life, trying to rebuild and regain who I was before I was in this situation. I feel like, you know, if you're somebody who's in a similar situation, I just want to encourage you, because never in my life did I think I would be in this spot. But I'm grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for the opportunity to just have a community, have a sense of friendship here. And so I hope this video gives you guys something to watch so that you don't feel alone. I think sometimes we need to be alone to really truly identify what's going on with ourselves and why we might be feeling or behaving a certain way that isn't in line with what we want. I just truly hope you're doing okay, you're doing well. I know there's so much change going on in the world right now with everything that AI is bringing in. There's a lot of opportunity and so much greatness with that, but there's also so much uncertainty. I know that a lot of people are feeling a lot of things, myself included. And so let me just encourage you today with a little bit of lighthearted fun, sense of community, something to just sort of get your mind off of things. And if there's one thing that I really, really love doing when maybe I'm not in the happiest of times, even though it's hard to say that because I think on paper it probably looks like it would be sad for me, but I'm actually feeling good. I guess that's growth in a lot of ways, but I'm grateful to be here. So thank you for tuning in, for joining me, for spending a little bit of time with me today. I'm hoping to get this video up on Christmas Eve. All right, so let's get into the video today. I am a huge sucker for all-in-ones. You may have seen the bodysuit review that I did a couple months ago. Oner Active, aka favorite brand ever, has come out with their viral soft motion line all-in-one. And so I had to obviously try it. I got 3 different bodysuits in the fabric. So I got the soft motion all-in-one Halterneck, and then I got 2 of the flare style. So that's gonna be that scoop neck top part. They make a scoop neck bra that actually doesn't work for me. I can't stand the way that that bra fits, but the actual bodysuit fits because it's got a little more fabric. We'll get into that later. But that one comes in the flare style, which I love. I think the flares are just so flattering, so beautiful. And then I got kind of a variety of colors. I got this bold red because I love a good red. And then I got the espresso brown. Anything brown, I am just a huge sucker for. I'm gonna always go for the browns. I love them. And then I also got black. Black's just a staple. Everybody needs a black bodysuit in their life, just like they need a black dress. So if that sounds good to you, then let's get right into the review. Okay, so first up is the soft motion Halterneck all-in-one. So as the name suggests, this is going to give you that halter neck approach on top where you have an open back. It's got that halter look, so it's great for a back day. You have that kind of low cut bit in the front here, which gives you a cleavage moment. It's super fitted all the way down. I mean, this is such a snatching bodysuit. I love the fabric as well. It's that soft motion fabric, which is gonna be completely comprised of polyamide and elastane. So it's gonna be stretchy, super soft. It gives you that, I hate this word. I hate when people use the word buttery, but it's soft, it's luxe, it feels so good on the body. It's extremely comfortable. I also love this color. I mean, I am such a sucker for red. I love a good bold red moment. So this for me is really gonna be a bodysuit that I wanna wear when I'm just ready to feel confident, ready to stand out, do all the things. It just makes me happy. I love a good red. So you can't go wrong with this color. And then in the back, you have that you know, the same glute lines that you're gonna see right above the glutes as you would in the regular soft motion leggings. And so that'll go right above, it'll kind of curve around, and then it stops in the front so that it's completely smooth in the front. There's no lines, no contouring, except you do have just the seam that's going down the side. And then of course it gives you kind of that standard flattering glute look. And then, like I said, it is just a regular legging all the way down. It's not gonna be that flare look. So there are a couple of things to just be mindful of. And for reference, I'm usually always a size small, but I do size down in soft motion because it's so stretchy, I can get away with it. However, this is the struggle with all-in-ones, is you kind of have to be mindful of your bottom size and your top size. So if I were just getting the leggings, I would get an extra small, but because I do have a larger chest, for reference, I am a 32 double D, I have to be mindful of that. I can't get an extra small. I do have an extra small in the black flared one that I'll try on and I'll talk you through later. I need to have a little bit of extra fabric up here. So that's just one thing to kind of call out and one challenge that comes with these all-in-ones. The other thing I just want to call out is I don't feel like the top is flattering because it's not going to give you lift or support. It just lays on top of your chest. So just keep that in mind. I think sports bras do a lot better job because it typically has the band underneath that just gives you that lift, which I prefer, but you know, it's not terrible. It's just not my favorite way to wear the tops, and it's not as flattering as it could be. And then the other thing to just keep in mind is, so you do have those glute seams in the back, and when you're dealing with an all-in-one, like typically if it's leggings, you just kind of pull them up and position them as you would, and it doesn't matter if they're high-waisted or whatever. You just kind of pull them up where they're comfortable. With an all-in-one, it's not as easy to do that because you have to pull them up, but then you also have to consider any extra fabric that you start to accumulate up here. So that's just something to be mindful of. And I think I've gotten it to a place where I can get it into a flattering position for my body type. You know, it does kind of start to come down as you move around. So just keep that in mind that you might have to keep pulling this up a little bit. All right, so now we've got the scoop back all-in-one. These are the flared ones, and I got this in Espresso Brown. This is from Oner Active's 12 Days of Honor, which is kind of their spin on doing an advent calendar for activewear. So I had to get this because it's, first of all, it's in brown, which is my absolute favorite color. So if you're a brown girly, I highly recommend this. And again, it's gonna be in that soft motion fabric, which is gonna be super soft, stretchy, molds to the body in just the most comfortable and luxurious way. So what this is gonna feel like is a combination of the scoop back bra that they offer in soft motion, as well as the soft motion flares. And then you just kind of have it some extra middle fabric here, so it's all smooth and fitted all the way down. Now, I'm not a fan of the scoop back bra. I feel like it just doesn't fit me well. It doesn't flatter me. It doesn't lift. It doesn't do anything for me. So I usually opt out of keeping that bra. I've always sent it back. I've tried it 3 times now, and every time I send it back. But with this, I do feel like it works because it has that extra fabric down here that I can play with. There's a lack of coverage here on the side. So that's just something to keep in mind. I feel like it doesn't like fit the best. I think overall it's decently flattering on top. It is low cut here, so just keep that in mind. You know, if you're gonna get this, just know if you've got a larger chest that it is gonna be lower cut, so you kind of have to maneuver and play around to get things as flattering as possible. And then on the bottoms, you know, you're obviously gonna have that flared look on the bottom, which personally I love. I just love the flares. I am a flared girl through and through. This straight motion, the straight leg, soft motion stuff, I mean, I like the straight legs, don't get me wrong, but there is nothing compared to the flares. The flares are just where it's at. I think they are overlooked, and I think if you don't have a pair, you should absolutely get a pair because you will know what I'm talking about. So this, like I said, is gonna feel like the usual soft motion flared leggings where it's gonna be really, really fitted. You're gonna have that contour in the back where it's the line coming up in between the glutes, and then there's the curve line that goes kind of up over the glutes to create the flattering effect, and then they come down and flare at the bottom. The other thing to just call out is this does have the contrast coloring, so I thought that was kind of a cute effect, something new, something we haven't really quite seen in their bodysuits to date. So I love that they were trying around with that, and I think this is a cute contrast overall. I mean, it's very comfortable. This is probably the most comfortable bodysuit all-in-one that I have ever worn because it is that soft motion fabric. So it's just gonna move with you and just feel like second skin. It is so beautiful. I really like this bodysuit a lot. I mean, it's kind of why I kept it. So I will continue wearing it. I think I may also try wearing a sports bra underneath, similar to what I mentioned with the Halterneck one, just to give it a little more support, a little more lift. There's some of this I'm just kind of not, I don't feel like I'm getting that support here, so that's just something that I want to try out. All right, and then last but not least, this is the scoop back all-in-one, the soft motion one. So it's going to be that same soft motion fabric, but in black. And I love this. And now that I'm trying it on, I actually think I do prefer the extra small. So this is the one where I told you guys I got a small in the espresso brown, and then I got an extra small in this to see how it would fit. I actually don't see much of a difference in how the top fits. And in fact, because I've sized down, I feel like it gives me a little more of a lift because it is smaller. So just keep that in mind, you know, when you're thinking through sizing and which one you might want to get. But I really, really love a black. I mean, you just can't go wrong with a nice black statement all-in-one or bodysuit. Oner Active makes a really, really good one because it's just so comfortable, so flattering. It fits in all the right places. And then if you pair it with like a cute shrug, this one I think is from Buff Bunny. I really, really like this one a lot, but it just adds a little extra sleeve in the colder months, so you don't have to worry as much about having issues with being pulled, or maybe you want a little more cover up. I really like the look of this. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be the same effect here. It's slightly more fitted than the small. I would say the size difference is super minimal. It's not anything to write home about, so don't think you're gonna like screw yourself over if you accidentally get the extra small versus the small, or if you size down. For me, this works well. And then of course you have that glute seam in the back that goes up, which is the usual classic soft motion look. It's super fitted in the glutes, and you can really kind of maneuver it to make sure it molds to your body. But I just love this bodysuit so much. All right, so that brings us to the end of this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you make a better informed decision if you have been going back and forth as to whether or not you should try one of these. I will see you guys very, very soon. I'm thinking through what to do next. I did get some goodies from 12 Days of Honor, and then I know they're going to be coming out with some fun pieces early next year, specifically in January, that I'm looking forward to trying out. I really hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Christmas. Please let me know if there's anything that you want to see next. And then, of course, if you want to keep the conversation going, I am on Instagram at Glow with Casey. I started a brand new Instagram, so I'm kind of focusing that more on building this community that's focused on this topic, you know, helping other women, their own self-confidence, and growing and glowing and just feeling like the best versions of themselves. I think that's such an important part of life, and I would love to be part of your journey. So follow me there and we can keep the conversation going. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.